Hey everyone, good afternoon. I'm Sabrish from gnani.ai. I know we just had lunch some time back, so I see a lot of sleepy faces over there. But what we're going to do today, think of it as more of a hands-on workshop or a hands-on session on how to build AI agents in real time. Especially when we talk about today's world, there is a lot of Gen AI here, Gen AI there. There's a lot of talk about agentic AI as such. But what exactly does it mean? And what are the exact problems do we solve for? That is something we are going to cover quickly over the next 10, 15 minutes. And what we're going to do after that is build real AI agents for different type of use cases as well. Perfect. So whenever we talk about AI agents, what we are solving for in today's world and today's landscape is primarily around customer support and customer experience. I'm sure whenever you call a telecom company, whenever you call, let's say, a bank, there is going to be something like a long queue where before you get patched over to the human agents, there is always, hey, you are in line, please wait for some time, your call is important to us, and a lot of things which go on accordingly. Probably if I had $1 for every time I heard this particular note from customer service agents, I would probably be a millionaire by now. And that is fundamentally a lot of things what is wrong in today's ecosystem. Wherever we are having human agents, there is a lot of things what we would be able to automate over there. And fundamentally, what we have seen is that customer experience in a post-COVID era has become far more important, where people have started getting jittery, the attention spans have gotten low, and they don't have time to wait on long service calls at all. So this is exactly the problem what we are trying to solve for with agentic AI. So let's quickly break it down, right? What do? We build conversational AI agents. And when I mean conversational AI agents, this could either be voice-based conversations or chat-based conversations. Let's try to break it down. I'm speaking in a language with all of you currently, and probably I know 2 or 3 different languages. But let's say suddenly someone wants to have a conversation in a language which is completely alien to me. Can we have that? Probably not. And of course, there are a lot of things like, hey, learn Kannada in 20 days, which probably I read before coming over to Bangalore because, of course, Kannada is far important. But that is the best thing with AI agents. AI agents can speak multiple languages at one point of time directly. And what we do here is primarily the AI agents support more than 40 languages today. They are 24/7. Even if somebody is receiving a call, let's say late in the night, let's say 2 o'clock in the night, whenever there is a human agent could not pick up the particular call, AI agents can still answer that and be far more effective as well. Let's try to break it down. How does this work? The first layer is something what we call as ASR, or speech to text. Whatever I'm talking in native language needs to be converted into a text-based format. So this is a model what we have built internally. Of course, there are a lot of available tools in the market as well. But what we have done over the last 10 years is built our own full-stack technology, be it for ASR, be it for SLMs, or text-to-speech technology itself. I know Gen AI has probably been a thing for the last 3, 4 years now, but we have been in business for the last 10 years. We work with the government of India to even build India's first foundational models. That is how advanced we have become in terms of self-reliance, not relying on, let's say, someone like OpenAI or someone like Gemini or Claude for that matter. But of course, each of it has its own advantages, which we'll go through during the live agent building demonstration. So the first step, as we were talking about, is the multilingual ASR. So suddenly, abhi मैं हिंदी में बात कर रहा हूँ तो भी the AI agent should be able to detect the switch in the language. Or enakti po Tamil pesano nalo, it should be able to identify that, hey, this person has started speaking in Tamil. And it should be able to revert back in the language which is easier and convenient for the end user. So that is the first layer. Next comes the processing layer. So as soon as it understands this is what a person is speaking, it goes into a LLM layer itself. So we have built our own SLMs, which are small language models. So for those not very acquainted with SLMs, what is the big difference between an SLM and an LLM? It is fairly straightforward. And LLM answers pretty much everything. It's trained on humongous amount of data sets. SLMs are smaller mini versions of that, which works very fast. And it is trained for particular set of industry use cases. So for example, we have specific SLMs for BFSI, specific SLMs for telecom, specific SLMs for consumer durables, and so on. And all of this helps in bringing the latency down to a huge extent. Whenever we talk about IVR, whenever we talk about normal bots, the biggest problem with having a human-like conversation has always been the latency. If I ask a particular question to an AI agent, it needs to be natural and it needs to be human-like. It should not be the case that I ask something and 5-10 seconds later it comes back with an answer. That's probably what Internet Explorer did a long time back, and we all know how bad the experience was. So latency is also something what needs to be taken care of, and that, this solves for the LLM or the SLM layer. The final layer is text-to-speech. Now we have gotten the exact answer after going through the knowledge base, after going through the complete context of the AI agent. Now it needs to be brought back to a human-like speech in that particular language. So we have our own TTS, or text-to-speech engines. And what these text-to-speech engine does is it essentially converts text into the right language and the right set of intonation. And all of this needs to happen within 1 to 1.5 seconds. Otherwise, the conversation is never going to be natural. And this is exactly what we have built over the last couple of years. And we have seen companies even reduce their operational cost by about 70 to 80% on their contact center side of things. Let's quickly talk about some of the different use cases, what we plan on working together. So over the next couple of weeks, what we are going to do is create different AI agents. And I know I've been using the term AI agents a lot right now. But what are AI agents? AI agents, think of it as your digital workforce. For example, right now, let's say I have to train a new hire on a particular use case. Think of doing the same thing with an AI agent, where what we're able to do is give a lot of memory and context to the AI agent so that it is able to understand the subject matter. That is step one. And the next thing when it comes to the AI agents are fine-tuning it. So of course, not all AI agents are going to be production grade right away. And this is definitely a big part where I would definitely want all of you to focus on in the hackathon itself, because there is still a lot of challenges what you would be facing. One of the biggest challenges is going to be hallucinations, especially in today's world, in the LLM era, right? There are a lot of hallucinations what happens with different AI agents. Suddenly we are having a normal conversation, but there might be a lot of edge cases where the AI agent simply breaks. And also one more thing what normally happens is that it goes outside topic whenever it is producing a long form content. So how do you manage all of that is also going to be something we are going to be talking about. So let's talk about use cases. When we talk about AI agents, think of all the conversations you have, all conversations which can happen inside a company. All of those is something what we should be able to automate. All of those are something we need to be able to create AI agents for. Let's start with marketing or sales. In marketing or sales, the most important use case, what we have seen, is the equivalent of a telecalling agent. So normally what companies do is they get big lead lists, either from their websites, either purchasing it from different vendors, and so on. Let me give you a real example. let's take Tata Motors or any of your big automotive company. They have a lot of inbound requests coming in from their websites or through aggregators like, let's say, Cardeco, Cars24, etc. And what normally happens is that these leads go to the sales team, on-ground sales team. And the sales team individually calls each of them up and asks a set of few questions. For example, boss, what is your budget range? Are you looking to purchase a car right away? Are you looking for a SUV or a sedan? A couple of qualification questions. And after that, they give an intent score to each of these prospects. All of this can be done with AI agents. And the best part is that the scalability is huge. Typically, in a scenario on a daily basis, we handle about 40 to 50,000 concurrent calls, which means imagine having 50,000 people dialing out right away. That is the level of scalability what we have with a platform like this. And in India, we do not have a lot of agentic AI builder platforms. And with Inya.ai, what we foresee and what we want all the hackathon participants to do is, for the use case what you are getting allotted, we want to build production-grade agents as much as possible. Something which works flawlessly and something which is completely tested as well. So that is a small example, the marketing and sales use case, what we went through. Similarly, there is a very big use case when it comes to customer onboarding. So a lot of times whenever we talk about banks, let's say you get their credit card. Or let's say when we talk about you are going to a hotel, you are staying there, a lot of times there is loyalty programs where they want to onboard you into. And most of these touch points currently in today's scenario is completely manual, either through SMS, either through WhatsApp messages, emails, or a standalone call. How about integrating all of this using multimodal capabilities? That is something what we definitely require hackathon participants to do. So where it could be something like a customer onboarding, it could be a KYC documentation process where confirming a few details from the customer, it could be loyalty program induction calls, and so on. And apart from that, one of the biggest use case is around customer support. It could be, for example, an installation kind of a use case, where let's say you have bought an air conditioner recently. What could happen is that you would need to talk with the dealership for getting it installed. Or it could be a service ticket creation. Let's say your internet is not working. What do? You immediately call the customer service number, say that, hey, my internet is not working. Can you please allot a technician? What if you had AI agents not only run these calls, but also, depending on the availability of the service technicians, even make a complete appointment booking as well. That is how integrated we see AI agents performing today. And this is definitely going to be in your problem statement as well. And of course, apart from that, we also have customer feedback. So we have something called as NPS and CSAT surveys. So what NPS means? It is Net Promoter Score. CSAT is customer satisfaction scores. So what normally happens is that after every engagement, you would have seen that after a customer support ticket is raised, they would have asked, hey, can you please rate this conversation out of 0 to 10? What if we are able to have all of these in an automated fashion? That is something what we solve for extensively. And of course, today we work with some of the biggest names in the market. Be it when we talk about banks, we probably work with the top 6 or 7 out of the top 10 banks in India. We also work with a lot of consumer durable companies. We work with Air India. We work with big telecom companies like Airtel and so on. And overall, we handle about anywhere close to 15 to 20 million conversations on a monthly basis. So the platform is highly scalable, and we have recently launched it to public access as well. So by the way, I hope people here who have registered for the hackathon have logged into Inya once. Yes, no, show of hands. Okay, I think we have a few hands. So what we're going to do is create some of these in real time. But before that, let me just have a quick genesis story about the origin of the company itself. So about 8, 9 years back, we had the founding team from Texas Instruments and IBM. And if you might have known, IBM launched one of the world's first conversational assistant called Watson, IBM Watson, which is still in production, and a lot of companies still use that. So the founding team had been working on conversational suite for the last 10 years, before GenAI even became a thing, before ChatGPT kind of revolutionized the whole space, right? And we have folks from Texas Instruments from the semiconductor space, and IBM, Mr. Ganesh Gopalan, who is our CEO, as well as a couple of other gentlemen. So let's go to the crux of the matter now. Let's build AI agents together. So Inya.ai is the name of the platform. So I definitely nudge everyone to also log into Inya.ai so that we can go through it simultaneously as well in terms of creating our first AI agent. I'll just give 1 or 2 minutes time and open up the QR code. Yeah. So this is the hyperlink. You can also scan the QR code if that is easier. So once you go there, it will just ask you for a few basic details. You can register on the platform. And what we're going to do is, over the next 15 minutes, have a small training session on how to create agents, how to build knowledge bases, and even do a production level testing as well. How we can trigger calls from the platform, how we can do a complete level of testing, and how we can incorporate changes in real time. So I'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes for everyone to do the setup process quickly. And I think we can start off with the training session. So in the meantime, let's talk about what constitutes a great submission for the hackathon itself. First is a clear-cut industry use case. So what we are going to do is, by tomorrow, all of you will be allotted a particular use case. The use case could be something like a lead generation AI agent, or it could be something like a customer support agent for consumer durables, for example. Like, we'll highlight what use case you'd be getting. And each of that should have a proper agent flow. What do I mean by agent flow? Agent flow is how you want the conversations to completely look like. So these could be how we define different edge cases to be handled. For example, let's say somebody asks, hey, who is the president of China? The AI agent should ideally not answer that. It should say something like, hey, this is outside of the purview. It should definitely not take any religious preference. It should not take any political inclination, for example. And there are going to be a lot of other edge cases as well, which we will have to include in the system prompt itself. So what we are going to do is do a quick run-through of how to build AI agents and how to even test it out. So I'll have my colleague Sharath on stage to go through some of this. But in the meantime, let's go through some of the key pointers, right? So today we are here, and we are having the session and the training session. We are going to have use cases allotted by tomorrow. And after that, we have a resubmission of the concept note. So whoever has registered for this particular theme might have already submitted a concept note, might have already logged into Inya, created your first agent. What we want from you, from all the bright minds over here, is a resubmission based on the particular use case and a complete production-grade AI agent for that particular use case itself. And after that, around 3rd October, we'll have the final evaluation. And on 8th October, we'll have the grand finale, where the selected people will be invited to present on stage their own AI agent, how they have built it, what was their thought process, and walk through the concept note itself. That said, in terms of prices, the top 3 are going to get about 3, 2, and 1 lakhs each in terms of the teams. So that is one. And also, apart from that, we want brilliant minds joining us to revolutionize the AI space. So the top 20 teams will also get a pre-placement interview at gnani.ai. And the top 2 teams, I'm assuming most of them are going to be college folks. But even if not, more than happy to have you guys interview with us and join our team revolutionizing this space as well. So what I'm going to do is I'll quickly bring up the hackathon page. So this is the Hacker Earth page where you can register yourself on the platform. And I'll just allow 1 or 2 minutes for all of you to register in case if you have not. And this is the link for Inya.ai. I definitely nudge everyone to create an account now so that we can build co-build agents together over the next 10, 15 minutes.
And in case you guys are looking for the internet connection, look for F25 convention, right? That's where you need to, you can log into that. Password is N capital Nasscom 2025. All right?
Hey, everyone. Hello. Yeah. Cool. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to walk you through the platform. And also I'll be showcasing or I'll be creating different agents live. And also after that, I'm open for FAQs or any questions if you have. And I'll be walking you through the use cases, list of use cases across industry. So this is a platform called Inya.ai. So it's think of it like an orchestration layer between your LLMs, between your ASR, that is a speech to text, and TTS, text to speech part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an agent. So we have a multiple agents, like for fintech, lead qualification, appointment manager. So I'm just going to click on appointment manager.
We are going to create an AI agent in 5 to 10 minutes. But that doesn't mean that for the hackathon, it's only going to take 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah. So the agent is ready. So currently, it's a pre-template agents. Here we can change your initial message, like whenever you do a outbound calling or inbound calling, what should be a initial message, like a greeting message. Here you can see, hello, thank you for calling Voltas. My name is Priyanka. I'm here to assist you. Schedule a AC appointment. And this is the ending message. Once the call is over, coming to an end, logical end, we will we'll prompt the bot saying, thank you for providing all the details. And this is a system prompt. So system prompt, it's basically a prompt engineering. You have to give a role, you have to give an objective, what the agent has to talk, and what the agent has to ask, and in a different steps. For example, you can give, hello, welcome to AC support, or we can write a prompt in XML format. So again, this is we have to test it out multiple times, and it has to be it can be in English, and if you want to have in multiple languages also, that also the prompt will support. And also you can choose different LLMs. So we have our in-house LLM called gnani.ai SLM, or OpenAI if you want, or Google. Google Gamma 27 billion parameters, and OpenAI 4.0 and 4.0 mini is there. So right now I am coming to customize. So we have multiple, the bot can talk in multiple language. It can understand English, Hindi in the same call. For example, I'll just, And we can also use different ASRs, that is the speech to text part. So based on the latency, what we have seen is Microsoft, Google, and gnani is having the least latency. And next is your text to speech part. I can use Gnani Pro.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम विराज है। आप सुन रहे हैं 60,000 से अधिक लोगों की पसंदीदा आवाज।
Yeah. So this is a rate of speech. If you want to control the rate of speech, right? The bot has to speak fast, slow, or normal. Based on the voice and based on the provider, we can customize this as well. And since this is an inbound agent, we'll do an inbound calling. And if you want to enable the DTMF is like if you're accepting any number or PIN code, if the ASR is not capturing properly, because some will tell my number is 88922 or 88822. So as a fallback options, we also provide a DTMF. And if you want to allow interruption is your barge-in feature where the bot is talking and you want to interrupt and talk something back. And again, background.
I'll just add some more flavor on interruptions, right? So previously, whenever we talk about AI agents or whenever we talk about bots as it was before, bots went on a big monologue. It used to complete its sentence and not listen to the person on the other end. But especially we humans we don't have a lot of patience. When we know where the conversation is heading, we normally barge in or we interrupt. So what this helps is it does active listening. So even when the AI agent is talking, it still waits for your input or feedback so that it can get that into its context and based on that come up with a reply.
And currently, as you've seen, we have multiple voicemail detections. In iPhone and Android, there's a voicemail feature, right? If you cut the call, if you cut or don't pick up, it goes to voicemail. We also have a voicemail detection and voicemail response as well. Hi, we try to reach you. Please call us back. Yeah, that's about it. So I can, the bot is ready, the agent is ready. I can trigger a call to myself or I can call to the inbound number, which is present here. I just got a call now.
Hello, thank you for calling Voltas. My name is Priyanka, and I'm here to assist you to schedule an appointment for AC installation. Please confirm if you're a customer.
No, I'm a dealer.
Thank you for clarifying your status as a dealer. Would you like to register the phone number you're calling from?
No, I don't want to register my phone number.
I understand. Please provide an alternate contact number that we can register for you.
I don't have any alternate contact number.
Since we need a contact number to proceed with the booking, I will transfer you to a live agent for further assistance. Please hold on.
Yeah, as you saw, the whole entire bot or agent is created less than 5 minutes. And if you want to have a different kind of integrations, let's say you want... Sorry. Yeah, if you want to integrate, let's say you want to trigger a WhatsApp message, or you want to create a tickets, or you want to trigger a SMS. Those are pre-built. Or if you have any custom APIs, that is also doable. And I'm just doing a custom image. And these are the different actions, like when you want to call that integration part. So while the agent is talking to human, you can trigger an API to understand different details. Like for example, there might be cases you want to have a dynamic data about that user. Let's say the user, I'm just giving an example here, the user tells what is my bank balance. I can call the API to check the bank balance and the agent will tell, okay, your bank balance is 35 rupees, which I have currently. And last thing is analytics part, yeah. Once the call is done, I can also see the analytics and I can also see the transcription as well. What that conversation happened between the user and the agent. voice agent. This is a basic demo. Again, Sabha will let you know how creative you can do, or I have list of use cases. So these are the list of
We'll
use
take a
cases.
small pause here to see if we have any questions so far on the platform itself, how to create your agent, how to give a system prompt. Any questions so far? Can we get a mic, please?
Hi, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Where did you give the system prompt when you were doing the flow? Like, do you give a role to the conversation agent or something?
System prompt. Like, let's go to the agent.
Yeah, this is a system prompt. You want to know how to write a system prompt, or what is the better?
Where did you give it? And can we give a role or some
Exactly.
function here itself?
Exactly. So I have a custom GPT or in Claude. Let's say I want to create a.
We can also use AI to create AI. That's exactly which makes production much faster, right? So especially when we think about a system prompt, it needs to have a few best practices you always need to keep in mind. One, you need to define the role very clearly as to what exactly is the AI agent going to do. Second, what you also need to do, especially if you're creating multilingual agents, we'll also need to define it over there so that it can speak English, Hindi. I think English and Hindi would be our major languages. But in case if you wanted to do any other languages, that again we'll need to define very clearly over there. Apart from that, you need to be very creative when it comes to the system prompting. Because what we normally even do is tell the AI agent to use filler words and even give it a few examples. For example, please wait 1 second, something like that. So that the conversation, it doesn't feel like they are talking with an AI agent. Rather, it feels completely natural. All of these, we'll be able to define it over there. So here you can even see something like small talk and empathy handling. We can define what needs to be the tone. Let me give you a few interesting examples. So one of our very interesting use case is for collections in banks, for telecom companies, where let's say your bill is due. Let's say you have taken a loan or your credit card bill is due. What normally happens in today's scenario is that there is a team of collection agents which call people, say that your EMI is due today or it's going to get due 2 days later. Please make the payment on time, otherwise your credit score is going to get affected. So what we have seen as a very interesting use case is that pre-due reminders are usually very warm, very empathetic, saying that, hey, your bill is going to get due, why don't you make the payment? Whereas, let's say it's 15 days post-due. That during those times, we have seen people create agents, which is a little bit more stern. And you can even play around with the voices that way. So we have seen a female empathetic voice as a pre-due reminder, whereas a post-due reminder could be something like, boss, your payment is pending. If you're not going to make the payment within the next 3 days, your service is going to get affected, something like that. So all of that, we'll be able to define it in the system prompt itself. Over to you, Shiv.
Yeah.
Let's walk through best practices, if possible, for this system.
Sure. So as Sabha was speaking, I just created a hospital booking. That's the appointment booking for a hospital. Again, the best practices are like you have to define a role and you have to give a task to that role, saying you are a voice bot or an inbound customer support, and these are the mock data which I can provide. And if you are creative, you can also give a different rate as well. Like if it's a empathetic or polite or funny, so on. And you have to give a different examples. Like whenever, if you give 4 to 5 examples, the bot will understand. And it creates a pattern, and whatever questions you might ask, the bot will be able to answer. And again, these are the fillers which we'll be using, acha, theek hai, in Hindi. And these are the mock data which I provided, the Gnani Hospital and Medical Center location, main phone. And these are the availability of doctors. And if you have multiple, like let's say I want to create for Apollo, and there are around 800 locations are there. We have something called knowledge base. Here in the knowledge base, I can give a URL or I can upload a Excel file or PDF. Then after creating a knowledge base, I can attach this knowledge base to this bot. So whatever information is present in knowledge base, the agent or a voice bot will be able to understand and fetch information from the knowledge base and give any answer. I can test it in 3 different ways. One is web, or I can trigger a call, or last is if I want to convert this one as a chat bot, I can do that as well. I'll just trigger a call for appointment booking. So again, this is in both English and Hindi.
Thank you for calling hospital. How can I help you?
हाँ, मुझे छाती में बहुत दर्द है, मुझे हॉस्पिटल में बुकिंग चाहिए था.
जी हाँ, मैं आपकी मदद कर सकती हूँ. आपके पेट में दर्द हो रहा है, तो आपको किस डिपार्टमेंट में अपॉइंटमेंट चाहिए? क्या आप जनरल मेडिसिन के डॉक्टर से मिलना चाहेंगे या किसी और स्पेशलिस्ट की जरूरत है?
हाँ जी, मुझे स्पेशलिस्ट.
कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर क्या है जी? ट्रांसलेशन यस, आई कैन हेल्प यू.
Yeah. So as you saw, it understood Hindi, but it did not work because I created in 5 minutes. And again, these are the different ways of doing prompts, and I took a help of Claude, which I showcased. And here, what I've done is I've created a meta prompt, like you are a prompt generator agent. And using this, it was able to give a entire prompt.
Yeah. So we'll again take a small pause here to see if there are any questions so far. I think we have a question there.
And see, on top of it, see, one of the best practice what people are telling about prompt sets, right? I mean, you have to give a JSON input, right? I mean, your LLM understands JSON better. So JSON is the best practice of writing a prompt. So system prompts, JSON is always better. We engineers should write in JSON rather than using a normal language, I mean, natural language prompts, right? I mean, try writing in JSON.
Question? Any questions what you have, let's try to address them right away so that it's easier. Of course, we will always be active on Discord as well, but it's always better to have face-to-face questions. Yes, please.
Yeah, so my name is Avilash. So my quick question is, now let's say we have seen how these agents are to be created, right? Now, let's say if I want to get into, and if I want to learn this, now I could see you have just, entered all the prompts. Now, if you want to build a real-time agents, right? And if you want to put a prompts, right? Can we leverage like Claude or anything? Or how should we come up with all these prompts? Like, are there any sources? That's one. Second, because most of the bots, right? We have seen it struggles when the voices overlaps, right? Now, is there a way where we can come up with a solution with that? Because I've seen a few bots, right, where the real life example, where you just answered, and before even they could complete that question, you just answered it. So how we can do this overlapping voices, and how we can make this work? Or do we have a limitations?
Yeah, for overlapping, right, that's what I mentioned. It's a barge-in feature. Like you are talking and the bot is talking at the same time, right? So we have the feature for allow interruption. So if the bot is talking for, let's say, more than 10 seconds and you want to interrupt it, then the bot will stop and listen to human voice. Then understand what the user is asking and then respond to it. And coming to the prompts, right, best practices, you can use Claude or you can use ChatGPT to create a different kind of prompts. What we have seen is the XML part and the JSON are the best way where the LLM will understand the language and give a proper response.
So what we did for the hospital appointment booking bot was we used Claude like just 2-3 minutes before to generate the initial prompt. But of course, it will definitely need a lot of tweaks and fine-tuning, especially to handle edge cases, hallucinations, and so on. I hope that's clear. I think we had one more question over here.
Yeah, so we participated in the concept note 1 stage. So we had made a bot. So in this agent, it was supposed to get the location from the user. And the integration we did, we were only able to receive information by the use of latitude and longitude. So is that an error on our side, or is the AI agent even able to take input like address, nearby locations?
No, actually you can use a pin code API, right? You can start by asking pin code, then you can drill down for building name and road name.
Okay. So, but in case in the future we want to make this into an app, so will we be able to use Inya.ai for that, or is this only a web or a phone-based agent?
No, we can have a SDK, and that SDK can sit in your website or an app as well.
All right, thank you.
So just on that note, a lot of real estate companies like 99 Acres, for example, so use our platform where it not only gives information about the property itself, but let's say someone asks, hey, where is the nearest metro, for example, or hey, is there a school nearby for my kid to go to? So all of those questions can also be answered without us explicitly prompting, okay, these are the amenities, these are just based on the location. So I believe that is doable. Yeah. Yeah, we have one more question over here.
Yeah, so for suppose customers are interacting with the bot. So we have like pricing can be according to per minute basis, right? So if customers talk more than that, so that means we are getting into losses. So for suppose like I'm the customer, if I'm speaking more like unrelated topic, but I can tweak the agent, right? So I can talk unrelated to what the customer support is actually expecting from me. So we can't expect what customers can do, right? So if you are charging per minute basis, I'm going to losses like as a business. So according to
interesting question. So there is, I think it's a double answer to that, right? One, if customers are engaging more with your customer support, most of the businesses see it as a win. But of course, given that the pricing is on a per minute kind of a basis, what we can also do is how we handle such things is 3 ways. One, into the system prompt, we can give something like, hey, your main goal is to do XYZ. But after that, once these goals are achieved, try to end the call in a polite fashion. So that is something what we'd be able to do in the system prompt. That's one. Second, sometimes what we can even do is do a time-based limiting. So let's say the call is going more than 4 or 5 minutes, for example. Like we can trigger it to politely end the call. So those are different ways we are able to handle that. But that said, I don't see why businesses do not want customers to interact more with them. So yeah, of course, if it was human agents, they always have numbers, they always have targets on a daily basis that, hey, how many resolutions did you do? And I think that's a good part about AI, right? It's not limited by a smaller scope. It can do a lot of things all at once.
And also to add Sabha's point, we can also send different signals. As you see in the screen, I'm sending a EOC, that is an end of call. Whenever a telecom provider sees this signal, they will only cut the call from their end.
Perfect. Any other questions? I think we have one at the end. Yeah.
So, sir, my question is, if the agent call the person, Truecaller has one feature like suspects or spam calls. It will block automatically. It doesn't call the person. So, what is the solution for that?
So in production, what we are doing is we have a AI detector which detects if the number is going to the spam. Then we automatically switch the number or change the number. This is what we are doing in the production level.
And one more is, if you enter the number, the person, like it will ask the OTP. Now, if you enter the number in the agent to call the person, it will ask the OTP. Without OTP, can't enter. Without OTP, can't call the person.
No, actually it depends on the use case. I did not understand like OTP part. So in some cases we ask for OTP and we trigger a SMS for sending an OTP and verifying it from our end.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we have 2 more questions.
Hello. For the last 10 minutes, I'm waving my hands anyway. Okay.
Sorry?
For the last 10 minutes, I'm waving my hand.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay. So this is one question. Let's say one particular scenario. Let's say I have another GCC where 200 people, 300 people are joining and working. Let's say there's a concurrent issue that we've seen. People are joining, and as soon as they join any particular BFSI, they have a lot of trainings, upcoming trainings, compliance training, etc. And we have seen that a lot of people, they're not able to complete and they're having a lot of breaches. So what happening is, because obviously when they join, they get overwhelmed by a lot of process and somehow they miss the trainings. Ultimately, it creates an enterprise level risk. Now let's say this is my question about possible, I have a data, training data, all I have. I want to create an agent that every day, let's say we can give this link to a particular resource who joins. You can go to the agent and ask, okay, what are the trainings I have and what are the breaches I have already done. I have the data. I have to convert the data into an agent. What would be a suggestion and what's any use case you have done that generate agent based on the data that we have?
Did you get the question completely?
Yeah. So I was showcasing something called knowledge base, right? So all the data you have, that can be converted to knowledge base. And in a prompt or in a system prompt, you can give, okay, give this data for this question. And as I mentioned, 5 to 6 examples. Then the agent would be understanding and reading that knowledge base and giving answers based on your use case.
So are you saying that I need to give them specific like hard-coded answer and questions and it cannot generate on its own, something like that, using any LLM?
So if hard-coded in the sense, yes, it is correctly, it is reading only from the knowledge base. It is not going to the internet and reading from there. Whatever data is there in knowledge base, that is, the bot will be able to answer that.
So let's say some resource can say, okay, what are the upcoming trainings which are not missed? Like random questions, it can be anything they ask. And then AI should give that response that, okay, you have this many missed, this many upcoming, you can please make sure that you do that. That kind of prompting is saying that, it has to be like 5, 6 options that needs to be hard-coded earlier.
So those kind of questions can be solved from the bot itself. So if you are asking some sensitive data, let's say, what is the customer support number? There, if the bot doesn't have that data.
No, there is no customer support. I'm talking about employees. So basically they are breaching trainings, etc. Like that. For them, I want to create an agent that, it tells them that, hey, you're the upcoming trainings on this and such date, so that you don't have any breaches. So I want to create an agent for them, complete brand new, using the existing data. In that case, you're saying also I have to define the scenarios.
Correct. So in that case, it will be able to answer all the questions. Whatever the numbers or locations or dynamic data is there, only for that part, it can refer to knowledge base. If it is not present in the knowledge base, then it can transfer that to agent, where the agent can log into CRM and check and answer that question.
Sure, thank you.
And also additionally, we have something called as temperature here. So temperature is how creative you want your AI agent to get. So let's say we are giving it a knowledge base, especially for highly regulated industries, let's say like BFSI or healthcare. You don't want the agent to get creative and answer something or hallucinate in terms of additional data. So there you wanted to strictly adhere to the knowledge base on which we have trained the agent on. So there the temperature would be lower. So we can keep the temperature at 0 to 0.1. Whereas if we wanted to also answer a lot of different things which is not at all there in the knowledge base, in that case the creativity would, the temperature would be a bit on the higher end. So that is also one more way we are able to control that.
Thank you.
So here in the back.
Oh, so that is something we should be able to do in the back end for the hackathon hackers, essentially.
Here. Hello. Actually, are these conversations momentary or, I mean, the knowledge base is momentary or it has reinforcement learning. That means from the user queries itself, are you learning the user frequent asking questions and you're updating your knowledge base? If there are any exceptions that you're deviating to human agent, right, you can create a log and help back the system to automate the process further.
No, yeah, it can be.
You got the question?
Sorry, the knowledge base will remain. It's not a cache mechanism. So the knowledge base will be there for 24/7. That is not an issue.
So from the user queries, is this system getting trained, or is just based on the knowledge base you are going to
Based on the
respond with?
knowledge base, and if the user is keep on calling, right, that also will be added to a knowledge base automatically for retraining.
One more small thing to note is that as much as possible, don't heavy load on the knowledge bases. I think that's a small tip I wanted to give, because if the knowledge base becomes extremely big in terms of the size, the latency usually gets a small hit. So as much as possible, most of your main fine-tuning, you should try to do it in the system prompt to keep the agents light so that it can answer much faster. So the answers should not be like you ask it a question and 3-4 seconds later there is an answer, because that is definitely not an effective way. So that is also where you will need to get a little bit more creative in terms of how to give it knowledge in the prompt itself, ideally. So that's just a small add-on I wanted to add. Yeah.
One more question. I can also see an option for agent chaining. So how we will trigger that agent chaining?
So again, the agent chain is in a beta phase. It's not in a production level, production grade. So what agent chain means, like if I have multiple agents, I can link all the agents using agent chains. So let's say I have an agent for customer support, I have agent for appointment booking, but the company is same. So I can link the two agents. Currently it is in beta phase, not in the production grade.
Okay, so we are not supposed to
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I'm Kritika, and I wanted to ask that is there any way that I can hook it up or integrate it with the backend system to validate if, let's say, that I'm giving any answer to the bot? So will it be able to validate if the answer matches or not, or is it right or not?
Currently it's not there.
Currently it's not. Okay. So now let's say that it asks for my name for some registration, and instead of telling my name, I tell the city's name. So it is just going to take the city's name.
In that case, you have to use the integration part. So
Integrated with what?
Integration to your own database you can create a Flash server to validate this data, right? So doing that, you can send those information like name, age, and date of birth to your Flash server, and you can host it and create a DNS for that and use that same DNS here.
Okay. Now let's say that there's a combination. Let's say I want to create a sales order. So now I say my customer number, sales organization, distribution channels. So can it go back to the same data source and check this combination and get back to me?
Yes, that's correct, yes.
Oh, okay, great.
Just to follow up right now, because we have seen cases where the bot is asking questions and customer is going to be providing the answers. Now, is there a way where for example, where the customer is giving incorrect answer, right, and bot is going to read it, validate it, and give a subsequent question to the customer? Because in the rural areas, just take an example of the rural areas, right? They would not be able to understand the prompt in a one go. So can we train the bot to understand customer answer
and revalidate it?
Shoot a subsequent question according to?
Yes, that is possible, yes.
So, sir, what is this? Sir, last.
Oh, yeah.
Sir, what is the security and the privacy of a customer? Like we are giving the LV phone number and the location of the customer. So in future it can be misused if something bad happened or something bad happened. Can you define the security and the privacy?
So currently we are working with most of the PSU banks, and we are working with PSU banks, again, all the insurance, right? So all the data will be encrypted. And if you are calling, if you are giving your number, right? So the second call, you will not be able to access that because the data is isolated and encrypted.
But the location and the information all will be shared now.
So all the conversation which you are having with the bot or agent, right? That is only momentary. That means between the start of the call and the end of the call, that data is persistent. After that, it moves to database and encrypted there.
So also additionally, we are SOC 1, SOC 2 compliant. We are also ISO. You probably name it 9001, 14001, 27001. Pretty much all compliances are being followed. That's one. Second, encryption, as Sharath was mentioning, it not only happens when the data is at rest, but also in transit as well. So even when a call is being done, it's going to get encrypted, all the conversations which is happening. Any other questions? All right, I think we have answered most of the questions, I believe. Sharath, let's go to the use cases slide.
Yeah.
So let's quickly talk about a potential list of use cases, what you would be getting over email. Different teams will get different sets of use cases. So you can.
Yeah, so this is a use case list for insurance. Like I can have a different agents for marketing. I can have different agents for sale. That is a lead generation or qualification. I can also have a eKYC kind of a agent where it will call and ask questions like what is your salary or which insurance you want. Is it a term? What is the difference between term insurance and medical insurance and life insurance? So I can have for customer engagement. I can have for claim status if I want to check my claim. Or I want to initiate a claim, that also can be done. So this is, again, in the insurance sector. Similarly, I can have for banking, I can have for housing, real estate, and so on.
So this is something we'll be sharing over email to all the participants, and also what use case is going to get allotted to you, so that you can go in depth about a particular industry rather than creating generic words. So that's it. I hope all of you will have a good amount of fun as well during the hackathon. Of course, whenever we talk about a hackathon, there is always going to be all-nighters, energy drinks, and a lot of other things. But that said, in today's world, prompt engineering is becoming a hard skill. And that is definitely something we also want you to improve upon. Anytime you have a question, please feel free to shoot us an email or post it on Discord so that we can answer that. And definitely want everybody to be creative with the agents, try different sets of variations, and most importantly, have fun with the platform. Yeah. I think we had one more question. Yeah.
Yes, myself, Sriman from CN Labs. So we are a cybersecurity laboratory. So you have mentioned several standards, right? But for security of AI, currently we do not have a standard or even a forum for that matter. Right. So how are you making sure that the chatbot or the voice assistant is speaking in a proper way, or not violating any code of conduct or biasing towards a particular category of the client? Right. So how are you actually making sure? And the standard that you have mentioned is not really related to security. It is basically related to process. Right. So the security aspect of the voice assistant and the chatbot itself.
Excellent question. So this is primarily solved for in the prompt itself. So for example, again, this is again a small tip. So whenever you are writing the system prompt, you can add something like, you should not hurt religious sentiments in any way. You should not talk about you do not have any political affiliation. So whenever there are questions around that, you need to be neutral. So all of that needs to be added as a kind of an addendum whenever we are creating an agent. That's number one. Number two is we actually have a lot of companies not only using our platform to create AI agents, but also to monitor their human agents as well. So typically there would be a list of blacklisted words which even human agent should not speak, right? So what we are also able to do is essentially give these as knowledge base items as well as, hey, these are your restricted topics, these are your restricted words, which should never be a part of discussion until unless it is absolutely required. So all of that is primarily dealt in the knowledge base or the system design, the system prompt design itself.
So right, so you are basically expecting your clients to do that. It is not mandated by you, right?
Yes. So again, that depends, right? So for example, sometimes people want the AI agent to also handle chit chat, for example. So different customers draw the line at different places. So especially when you talk about, I think that's the thing about ethics, right? So they might want the AI agent to probably talk about whether some of them want it to be strictly business. Apart from these particular areas, it should not talk about anything else. So that's one part. But whereas when we talk about the blacklisted words, so that is something which we get from the compliance teams typically. Because typically banks have a different set of words to monitor. And especially when we talk about complaints, it's not only about the AI agent not going into particular topics, it's also about mis-selling sometimes. So for example, it should not tell a different interest rate, for example. So it's going to depend at an industry level, which is normally given by the customer while we are doing the prompt design for them while going live. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? So tokens is something we'll be able to, like similar to temperature, we'll be able to change that. So what that primarily means is how long of an answer we want the agent to give, essentially. So like let's say, for example, you wanted to speak 2 sentences at one go or 1 sentence at one go. So again, that will depend on the use case.
So it's for one call, right? The maximum tokens, or is it for?
So it is at a response level.
Okay.
Yeah. If we don't have any other questions, I think we'll wrap up the session. Great. All right. Thanks, folks. Definitely look forward to an enthusiastic participation from all of you. And good luck.